And overall, it was good. I mean, perfect basically for the first day of springtime. But we did have the haze out there, and it looks like we're probably going to have a little bit more into the next couple of days. Until we get some rainfall in here, we're going to be seeing the next best possibility of wildfires continue to increase. Now, for right now, we don't have anything in the way of major wildfires taking place, but by satellite, we are able to detect where some of those wildfires are popping up, and that is why we're seeing more of the haze out there. It was a beautiful day overall, but just a little bit more on the hazy side for today, thanks to the pollutants. Some of that's pollen, some of that's pollutants from cars, trucks, and our general fossil fuel powered industry that we live with. But we're also seeing, again, more potential for the wildfire smoke stick around. I think we've got, I have to double check for right now, but I think we do have a bit of an inversion taking place, which is where you have a warmer level of air several thousand or several hundred feet above the ground. And as that smoke rises, it can't mix any higher because that's like running your head into the cabinet when you stand up and you left the cabinet door open. That inversion stops the atmosphere from mixing in different levels, and it kind of lays a lid on the atmosphere. So that's what we're looking at for tonight, I think, but I'm not going to check that for right now because I just want to make certain we get all this ready to go and make certain everybody's getting a chance to see what's going on. For those of you starting off, we are live on Facebook and Twitch. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onig. This is Weather Overtime. This is our online video weather blog, keeping you updated with what's going on in regards to weather into and around the area. We've got little, if anything, going on right now. We do have a couple of storm systems on the way to the area. This is Wednesday night, the first day of spring, 2024. We should be looking at the potential for a couple more systems coming on through. And again, what we're going to be seeing into the next couple of days is going to be a better potential of rain coming up for Friday and early Saturday. And then after that, we could be looking at the potential for a lot of problems with a winter storm moving through portions of the area around the upper Midwest. Not for us, but it could give us some more rain and possibly some more thunderstorms next week, but we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Twitch users, the email address is right at the blue bar right below the bottom of the screen, aonic@wdef.com. For anybody on Facebook, if you want to email me, give us some ideas about what you like about this, and if there's something else you would like to see on here, us talking about more international weather, more science, more severe weather safety, less of this, more of that, whatever. I don't know those things unless you tell me what you think. So again, please, if you have any suggestions, let me know, and we'll try to add or detract from this weathercast to give you an idea as to what's going on. We try to stay on here for about 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes we go a little lighter, sometimes we go a little longer, kind of depends. And then into the rest of the newscast tonight, we'll be talking about the last Skywarn meetings coming up for the spring semester in this particular area. There'll be an opportunity to get online if you'd like to give that a try. We'll talk about that as well. But then also we'll talk about, again, the potential for maybe some stronger weather next week. We'll do all that coming up here in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get going tonight and show you a little bit more about what we're looking at for the area from Island Cove Marina and Resort. It was a beautiful sunset tonight, and several other of our cameras picking up some gorgeous conditions out there. So if you'd like to see some of our webcams on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network, go to wdef.com/weather for more information on that. Let's take a spin around the area and see what we can see. Again, kind of hazy out there in the distance. Usually can see Lookout Mountain lights, just barely able to see some of that. And toward Raccoon Mountain off in the distance, some of that haze stacking up into portions of the area. Air quality is not terrible, but it's not great either. So we're seeing a lot of those pollutants and pollen and stuff like that picking up. Lookout Mountain from the News 12 studios. The flags across the street at the International Towing Museum and on the News 12 property last night standing out in full flap, just hanging around for tonight. And looking across the area of Lookout Mountain, very much on the quiet side from the Patriot Concrete camera. Had some pretty good backups around 24 and 75 earlier on. Traffic moving again quite nicely at this point as we see little, if anything, in the way of problems. No backups or any issues at this point in time. We do, however, have a multi-vehicle crash around Moore Road. Let me see if I can get that on the camera at this point, because I would love to be able to show everybody what's happening just to be on the safe side there. It looks like we have some backed up situations. Yes, a multi-vehicle accident. This from I-24 and McBrien between the 2475 split and the Ridge. So for right now, that's what we're looking at. It looks like traffic is slowed to a stop as everybody merges into that lane, and that is in the eastbound lanes right before the 2475 junction. Several vehicles involved. Left shoulder is blocked, so let's be cautious out there. We'll keep you updated on that toward about News 12 at 11. From downtown, the Tennessee Aquarium's Chattanooga weather webcam. If you'd like to see that, go to tnaqua.org. Downtown, looking around, I believe that's 4th Street. Still finding my bearings after being here for a couple of years. The Tennessee Aquarium back here, the parking lot, looking pretty quiet again for now. Few folks out and about, but otherwise not doing too much. And from the inside, showing the area around the Secret Reef camera. It's nice to be able to borrow this camera to show folks a little bit more about what is going on. And as of right now, a few sharks, a couple of rays. Looks like the sharks outnumber the rays at this point. Might even see a sea turtle passing on through at some point. But again, this view available from tnaqua.org if you'd like to see under the reef area from the Tennessee Aquarium in downtown Chattanooga. Some beautiful views here. This camera is just spectacularly positioned to see the passing shark traffic going on out there. So nice to be able to see that. Saw a hammerhead not too long ago. Goes a ray right there. Dozens, hundreds of types of fish and all sorts of wildlife there. Beautiful place to go to for a nice stroll around if you'd like to take a look and see more about what's going on in that direction. From the Chattanooga Zoo Hug a Bunny camera, looking off toward Lookout Mountain and where the sunset was earlier tonight. Beautiful conditions out there, a little bit hazy thanks to the pollution, and temperatures back in the mid-60s with winds light out of the northwest. Air temperature, dew point temperature, and the difference between those, the greater the difference, the drier the air is, because this, the dew point temperature, is the temperature of the air completely saturated, 100.0% humidity. So as of right now, if this number was closer to this number, we'd have a lot more humidity. We do not. We've got humidity values down in the mid 30% range. So it is dry, it is comfortable, it is a beautiful evening, not showing any problems, except again for that potential for visibility out across much of the region. Now, talking about air quality, we did not see anything in the way of problems for today. We do have, again, some reduced air quality basically in the Tennessee River Valley. Worse air quality, much worse, back over toward north central Georgia into around areas of western South Carolina. So far, again, we're not really looking at too much of a problem out there. Well, we are also seeing the red dots, everything you see from the VIIRS system, visible infrared imaging system, something like that. I need to double check that, but this showing again the amount of wildfires being detected by satellite. They're not major blazes, they can just be minor ones. The heat signature of that can be detected by satellite, and the gray indicates the smoke. You can see the worst amount of smoke back over where that air quality was not all that good, but we are seeing a big increase in the amount of fires across the area. And it looks like we'll probably pick up more of those in the course of the next couple of days until we get some more rainfall through here. So I was talking about the rain. We don't have anything in here right now. Where's that coming from? Well, it's not this cold front. This is a very weak front, and the only reason we're able to see it right now is that from the last few hours, the temperature difference between the slightly cooler air to the north and the warmer, comfortable air down to the south was a lot bigger. There was a lot more difference in the amount of temperatures out there. Now that everything is cooling off, it's a good bet that this cold front might just disappear from the map. We may not see it again, But this one is nothing. Outside of the few clouds around here, there's not much of anything else. Our next system is going to be developing down toward the area of the Rio Grande on the tail end of this dashed line. That's a stretched out area of low pressure called a trough, and this will be developing here and then moving up our direction into the next couple of days. Now, I should mention that's storm system number 1 we're talking about. Storm system number 2 will be coming in from the northwest and over the next several days getting organized across the west coast states. Now, this one is going to pack much more of a wallop. It's going to be giving a lot of problems to the northern plains states. And let me just show you this information here from the NOAA Weather Prediction Center. This is talking about the winter storm. That second storm system off the coast is going to be causing problems, again, from the western Great Lakes, International Falls, the Twin Cities, through about Sioux City and into around Minot and close to Pierre, South Dakota. That is where we should see the potential of a decent amount of snow, including the possibilities of 8 inches of snow. We could be talking about some very heavy winds, maybe close to some blizzard conditions out across that area of the country. Now, this is not the News 12 viewing area, so why are we talking about this? Because if you're traveling, I would say anywhere northwest of Chicago, Milwaukee, back over toward International Falls, Duluth, through that area, way up close to about I-90, I-80, north of I-70. Could be some very ugly travel conditions out there, so please keep that in mind as this system begins to get a little bit more advanced and becomes a little bit better organized. So we'll be watching that again with a lot of interest. Okay, so for tonight, the front moves through. Zero, if anything, of interest of that. A few more clouds coming in from out west, and that's going to be about it for there. Then we see some more clouds, fairly mild tomorrow, maybe a couple of degrees downwards thanks to that cold front, but that's about it. And then Friday morning, a sprinkle or two possible here and there. The best potential of rain will be coming up as the system kicks out to the northeast and gives more moisture heading our way. And I think it's mainly going to be showers. Thunderstorms, possible, but that'll be the exception to the rule. That area of low pressure expected to kind of slow down until this next cold front kicks this out of the way and heads over to around the mid-Atlantic states. Maybe some showers with some thunderstorms, but just not that many. And then a lingering shower on Saturday, but it looks like most of the weekend should be staying rain-free and comfortable. And then we're going to watch that next system head our direction. The big potency for bad winter weather will be well back to our north and west. We're going to be seeing some other effects out of that one. Matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and just show what we're expecting in the 7-day forecast for now. The changes that we're going to be seeing taking place are going to, again, be the possibility of some rain chances out there, but for right now, it doesn't look like too much. Friday night into Saturday, that'll be the worst of it for us. And again, a rumble of thunder possible, but not that much coming up into Friday. Then we see a bit of a cool down taking place for Saturday. Again, temperatures back in the lower 60s there. Rebounding nicely to the upper 60s Sunday and Monday, and then lower 60s for Tuesday. Shower chances start to move our way late Monday through the day on Tuesday and back into Wednesday. We're still not seeing anything in the way of severe weather, according to the Storm Prediction Center's 4 to 7 day outlook, which you can get on their website at spc.noaa.gov. But we could see some more rumbles of thunder on Tuesday. Now's the time of the year to watch out for those storms even this far in advance, because this is important to know about as these storms get more organized and head our direction. We really need to pay attention to that for our safety's sake. The headlines that pop up after tornadoes hit someplace that say, quote unquote, without warning, that is really not a thing anymore. There's just no way that we could see, again, the potential for some chances of thunderstorms just sneaking up on us that much. And much of what we're looking at for right now is showing the potential of more in the way of conditions out there that could be a bit of a problem. So, okay, Rick Bircher, thank you very much. So far, it looks like audio is working on my end. I'm not too sure what the situation is from there. Hopefully, it's at least audible. It says that it is on my state of affairs for right now. So hopefully, I'll change that out a little bit later on. But we'll just continue on doing weather in mime as per necessary. But thank you, Mr. Bircher from Topeka, Kansas, for checking in there. Once again, the possibility of thunderstorms doesn't appear to be a great one, but it is something that we will keep an eye on for the next couple of days. So stay tuned for more on that, and we'll let you know a little bit more about what may be coming our direction. But for right now, I just don't see anything huge taking place for the time being. So keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about what, excuse me, may be going on there. So for right now, decently quiet, chances of rain Friday into Saturday, and that's really going to be about all that we see. Okay, we have a bit of a latency problem, but there's nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, that's the station's internet that we're having an issue with, so there's not much I can do there. So if you can't hear me, apologies. Just check out the captions. Hopefully the closed captioning is working properly. It looks like it is on my phone. So, excuse me, we'll try to make certain that all that is taken care of for tonight. All right, couple things to talk about where it comes to being prepared for severe weather. This is important because at this time of the year, it's time to be ready for severe weather. A Skywarn training course, the last two for the spring semester, spring season. The times of the year where the National Weather Service teaches severe weather Skywarn training courses is in the fall, roughly about October through early December, and in the springtime from roughly January through about March into early April, depending on the National Weather Service office. Tomorrow, there are two meetings coming up. Same day, different National Weather Service office jurisdictions, different locations, both in the News 12 viewing area. The first one will be Thursday morning, tomorrow the 21st, 9:30 in the morning to 11:30. Again, these meetings last about an hour or two, depending on how many questions are asked and answered. Calhoun, Georgia, Gordon County at the Fire Department headquarters, 218 Public Safety Drive Southeast. Again, that'll be 9:30. That's taught by the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Georgia. That, again, is the National Weather Service that covers most of northern Georgia, and their jurisdiction is part of the News 12 viewing area. Again, that'll be tomorrow at 9:30. Coming up on Thursday, again tomorrow at 6 p.m., National Weather Service Morristown will be teaching a meeting, the last one in their schedule, at the Lawson Building in Jasper, Tennessee. That'll be at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And that'll be your opportunity to, if you live in and around that area, that is about a county west of Chattanooga, and your opportunity to learn more about what goes on with severe weather and what to report back to the National Weather Service. Let me just double check. Yes, this is the last meeting from the National Weather Service in Morristown. They also request that you register for the meetings on their website, and that is www.weather.gov/MRX. That is Mike Romeo X-ray. That's the three-letter code for the National Weather Service. You'll find it at the end of weather.gov. That right there, they're asking you to please register just for size of the room purposes. So if you would like to attend this, great. Your tax dollars, my tax dollars pay for these meetings to keep people informed and to train them about severe weather. But if 60 people show up for a 30 meeting room location, maximum capacity, then the National Weather Service has to turn people away at the door or find another meeting location at very short notice or schedule another meeting because the meeting was so popular. So ahead of time, if you could let them know that you are coming, please do so at their website, weather.gov/MRX. And again, those are the final two meetings coming up as we go into the spring semester, the busiest time of the year for weather. Now, if you can't show up to either of those and would like to take the course regardless and on your schedule, all you have to do is go to METED, Meteorological Education, from the University Corporation of Atmospheric Research, UCAR.edu. You take the course online. It's free. You have to register with your email address so they can send you results and your certificate. And this is a great place for weather aficionados. This is a great place for people who want to learn more about the weather. This is a great place for continuing education credits If you want to take some CEUs, this is a very good opportunity to learn more. Really neat place to go to. Tons of educational information on there. And it's the Meteorological Education Comet Program. Again, that's available from the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research at meted.ucar.edu. Take the course. If you pass successfully, tell the National Weather Service who covers your particular county, and then you can register with them, and then they can call you or you can call them on your cell phone and let them know what's going on. Your information could help people like me, because if you call the National Weather Service and tell them there's a wall cloud going over my particular location in eastern Chattanooga, heading northeast, assumedly at about 40, 50 miles per hour. We also have baseball-sized hail, power lines down, lots of lighting. All that information can help me and help the National Weather Service plot out where the warning is going to be, what type of warning it is. The radar beam that we have, again, for Doppler or NEXRAD radar, that's a great tool, but it goes outwards from the site, and you can't aim it too far down or it'll run into the ground. So it has to be at a very low angle to be able to catch the storms, but it can't go too far down to see what's happening with some storms that are farther away, because the curvature of the Earth drops off the farther away you go. And that means the beam keeps getting higher and higher and higher in the atmosphere, and you tend to miss a lot of stuff at that angle. So the best thing we can have is people on the ground being Skywarn spotters who can tell the National Weather Service what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and what you have seen the storm do. That information could save lives. I talk about this at pretty much every single school I go to. So if you'd like to know more about that, again, all you have to do is go to these websites or to my social media pages for more. Let me put in a brief thank you and, again, a heads up to anybody who would like to have our weather experts in your classroom. Meteorologist Todd Heislip was out and about today at a classroom talking about his cloud in a bottle experiment. I got to figure out how that works. That's a neat idea. Food City Weather in the Classroom program. If you'd like us in your classroom, please invite us at wdef.com/weather, and you can find out more again at our website for more there. Now, going to go a little astronomical at this point. There is an eclipse coming up. Actually, there's two of them. The first one is going to be coming up pretty soon. The second one in April, the big solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse, is happening in less than a month. So we're waiting for that to head our way. What we are also looking for is a lunar eclipse, and that's going to be happening next Monday. We're going to be very close. We're going to be at the full moon, which is when these eclipses happen. We're going to be then going toward the new moon, and as we head toward the moon is between the Earth and the sun. So that's where we get the solar eclipse from. The Earth, the sun, the moon are all lined up perfectly for this. So this one is a penumbral lunar eclipse, which means it's not going to be a total solar eclipse, which means as the Earth passes through the outer ring of shadow from the planet, which is the lighter shadow, it's called the penumbra. If we were to head right through the center part of Earth's shadow and see the moon get that shadow cast on it, we would see a lot darker conditions. It would turn a sort of blood red before becoming very dark and then go back again as the eclipse finishes. This is where the Earth is going to just scrape by in the penumbra, which is going to be very light, which means it'll go from very bright full moon, 12:53 a.m. Eastern Time next Monday. And then it'll start getting slowly kind of dark. You'll notice, again, kind of a little bit darker conditions, but it won't be totally dark. You will notice some dimming of the light. There will also be a crescent of very light, very bright light at the top, because the shadow of the moon will only cover over most of the moon's surface. The Earth and the moon and the sun are not lined up enough to make it a total solar eclipse. It'll be a penumbral eclipse, which means the shadow will not be totally dark and it won't cover the entire thing. Now, after that, that's about 3:12 in the morning, the maximum eclipse, and then the eclipse is over with as the moon heads for moonset, and as the sun begins to rise on the other side of the sky, because the full moons happen right at the opposite point. It gets the brightest as the sun rises. The moon will be setting in that pattern of moonrise, moonset, sunrise, sunset. So this will be next Monday, and looking forward to seeing what happens there with that. Hopefully, again, everything will be quite nice for everything out there. Heading for our weather picture of the day. Thank you very much, Anita Arthur from Camelot Valley Farm. Her Scottish Highland calves, Islay and Skye. Beautiful shot there. Again, not like any cows I ever saw back in Kansas, but some beautiful views there of some barnyard activity. Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, again, please send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com. We'd love to see what you're seeing out there, so go ahead and send them in to us at our Facebook, X, or Instagram pages, or just email them to us at pictures@wdef.com. Thanking our other sponsor, friendinroofing.com, for our web poll of the day. We started off with weather, but I don't like repeating questions, and we were kind of coming to the end of the cycle with our last sponsor, so we've branched out a little bit from weather to weather/science, and there's a lot of science we can talk about, but this one's weather related because it talks about evidence of highest water levels during storm surge. When a hurricane moves across an area, it pulls up with low pressure a big dome of water underneath it, and that dome of water moves with the hurricane. So that's where you see the floods as the waters rise as the storm moves inland. You can have a storm surge of 10, 20, 30 feet sometimes, and that is the killer. That's a lot of what happened in Katrina. That's a lot of what happened in Wilma. That's a lot of what happened in various other storms. But once the water level goes away, the stuff that floated to the top winds up on portions of the walls and the structures that did not have the winds blowing on through. So what is the best evidence? Natural debris that shows where the water levels reached during the storms that form on through. The choices were seeds, blades of grass, leaves, or all of the above. And 8% got seeds and grass blades. The majority of you voted for all of the above, and that was the correct answer. So that is something that several government agencies, especially from this question with the United States Geological Survey, thank you, usgs.gov, for more information on that. And again, that is the correct answer in our friendinroofing.com weather/science poll of the day. So thank you very much for being our sponsor on that, and thanks to everybody who voted. A new poll will go up at midnight tonight at wdef.com/vote now. If you'd like to check that out, please do so, and go ahead and check in there to see what is going on. I think that's almost it for this evening. Again, things are exceptionally quiet and dry for now. Here's hoping it stays that way. No freeze or frost warnings in effect for tonight. That's good news. No major problems being seen for anything in the way of visibility. Could be some haze overnight, but we're not seeing terrible air quality, just not perfect or good air quality. Please don't forget about the Skywarn meetings coming up tomorrow. And again, please attend one of those if you would be so kind on there. Let's make certain that we all are doing our best to help our community when it comes time for watching for severe weather. Again, on Twitch, email address at the bottom of the screen, aonic@wdef.com. So thank you very much for tuning in on Twitch and signing up for updates as well. And I think that should do it. We'll be on the air live tonight on News 12 at 11. Basketball, the Final Four, lead up to the Final Four, the NCAA men's basketball tournament starts tomorrow at about 11 o'clock, noon Eastern time, and that means we've got basketball galore for the next several days, but that means we're not going to have too much opportunity. We'll still have some newscasts, but we've got a lot of sports to take a look at, and so it's going to be very busy around here. We will have more updates online, again, at wdef.com/weather for updates on that. So please keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you advised as to what's going on there. But again, please tune in for the NCAA men's basketball tournament on your CBS affiliate for the Tennessee River Valley. WDEF News 12, the home of Weather Overtime, online video weather blog for this area. Thanks to everybody for dropping by, asking questions, Twitch, Facebook Live, and keep it tuned to News 12 for more on that. Chip Chapman will have your forecast coming up bright and early on Thursday morning, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern on the morning show, and I'll be in for Mr. Chip coming up on Friday morning, so stay tuned for that. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, USA, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek from the News 12 Weather Center, downtown Chattanooga. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll see you again at some point in time coming up on Thursday evening. Thanks for joining us.